Okay, here we go. Chapter 21. Of pomegranates, of fruits, and of holorum, sometimes with a H, of vegetables. He was very avid. He was very keen on eating fruits and grains. In the rest of the types of food, he was very sparing, parkissimus, so that he was always devouring something of recent fruits or of fresh fruits. Semper is always. 2. He was percupitus. He was very desirous of cold, and neither easily through the summer unless he bibbeted. Okay, so he was very desirous of drinking cold things, and unless he had cold things to drink, quam plurimus, as cold and as many as possible, he didn't easily get through summer. He was of a genitive of a characteristic. He was of a big body, a vast body, and therefore he was pressed more towards drinking cold things to keep his big large body cool. 3. Hake. These things concerning the junior Gordian, which are worthy of being memorialized, we have discovered. For as not Decenna should be said by us, such things which Junius Claudius composed, which are ridiculous and stupid, petty matters, concerning his domestic pleasures and the rest of his other weaknesses or infirmities. 4. Quare again. So therefore, those who want to know, he can read Claudius himself, who said how many slaves he had, each principal, each emperor had, and what friends he had, and how many panulas, or how many Greek cloaks he had, of which even, this is of no scientific knowledge or no matter worth knowing, that protest, that helps or benefits, sequitum, since in history there ought to be placed by historians, what things either should be fugiended or sequenda. So he's saying the reason for historians is that they should say what things should be avoided in doing and what things were good and should be done sequended. 5. Sane. Clearly what I've decided not to pass by, so there's a thing which should not be passed by or overlooked because it seems marvellous or mirabile, can be read upon the works of Volcatium Turrentalium, whoever he is, who himself, he scripted or wrote a history of his temporis, of his time. Looks like I should take a comma. I wrote these in letters or in a book. The senior Gordianum, in his vultum, in his face, he seemed to have represented or looked exactly like Augustus. Sic ut correlatives, so much so that in voice and mores and custom and his stature, he seemed to ostender, he seemed to show these same likenesses. And moreover, his son was very similar in looking to Pompey, although it is denied that Pompey, so that's not impersonal, it goes with Pompey, so it was denied that Pompey had a big obese body. However, his grandson, his Nepos, even now we see images of Cuius, of him. He retoolets the face. He bears the face of Scipio Asiaticus, I guess. Quad pro sui admiration. So I don't believe that this should be something to be silent about because of it's a bit of an admirable likenesses, this little story about how people look like each other. Gordianus Tertius III, chapter 22. After the death of the two Gordians, the Senate was trepidous, a bit fearful, and it was fearing Maximinus rather vehemently. From the 20 men who had been delegated or picked to tuendem, to look over the Republic, the Rem Publica, Papius or Maximus, and Clodius Babinus were called Augustuses. Okay, both were ex-consuls. 2. Tunc. Then the people and the soldiers, the small Gordius, the Parvulum, who was now agenting his years, as many assert, as his 11th year. So the people and the soldiers doing something to the young Gordian, who people say was 11, and some people non-nullus say he was 13, or as Junius Claudius says, he was 16. For in his 20th and 2nd year, they assert that he perished, he died. Okay, so here's what these people were doing. The populace were seeking that the small Gordian, now that he should be called appellator Caesar. 3. He was raptus, he was grabbed to the Senate, and then in the assembly he was positus, he was placed with the indumento imperatorio, with the imperial clothes. He was tectus, he was covered, and he was nucumpatus, he was called Caesar. 4. He was natus, he was born, as many assert, from the daughter of Gordianus, as 1 or 2, for I'm not able to find more, and as these other people say, from the son who had died in Africa. Okay. 5. Gordianus, surely, Scalicet, was factus Caesar, quadruped, he was educated, he was reared at his mother's house. What the hell's that doing there? It doesn't make any sense. And when the Maximini were extinct or killed, and Maximus and the Balbinus were interrupted, they were killed during looks like a military revolt, sedition. These who had ruled for 2 years, biennio. This is when Gordianus was a young man, an adolescent, who so far in his life, Aetinus the adverb, he was Caesar during this time. So then by the soldiers and the populace and the Senate, and by all the races, with a huge love, with huge studium and enthusiastic and thankfulness, gratia, he was appellatus Augustus. He was called Augustus. Okay, might as well make a daily dictionary out of indumento. Indumentum. Garment, robe, something put on, even a mask, sometimes a sauce. I might as well see what this one says. Indumentum. Yeah, it's got mask and sauce as well. Garment, robe, something put on. I'll go to Lewis and Short. This will have indumenta to endure, a garment post-classical, a mask, it's used here as a mask in Gellius or something, covering clothing, indumenta carnis, his bodies, in prudentia. Okay, get back to the plot, where was I here? And that's it.